discuss the growing traction that this theory is gaining is justice correspondent for The Nation, Elie Mystal. Elie, what in the world? Now, we've talked previously about how, there's a growing new American majority, that black and brown people are on the cusp of representing a much larger political force than any other time in this country's history. But how much of this great replacement talk is rooted in the fear of that reality?
Yeah, this is dangerous, but this is nothing new. Every generation of white people has their own special euphemism for when they are worried that the darkies are coming to take their stuff. This generation is using replacement theory, but it goes back. I mean, you gotta remember, this is basically Ku Klux Klan logic. And the Ku Klux Klan itself was a euphemism for the Confederacy and slavery, right? So this goes all the way back. White people are always inventing different fears to have about non-white people coming to take their stuff. It's not new. It is dangerous. And let's also remember, just because I think it's an important part here, in the full replacement theory, the people organizing this are the Jews. This is also very directly anti-Semitic. It's the Jews trying to bring in the darker races in order to, I don't know what, but that's what they think. But here's the thing. There is actually, and please do not clip this out of context, Tucker, but there is actually a bit of truth in what they are saying, because we absolutely are trying to replace the political power of white supremacists and racists and mediocre people. Like, that is actually something that the thrust of American history is trying to do. Started in 1860, now we here, right? Like trying to get rid of this disgusting, deplorable rump of white supremacists has been an ongoing project in this country, and has quite frankly been an ongoing project around the world. Germany had to do it. South Africa had to do it. Imagine how the white South African Afrikaans Party might have talked about the emerging, the majority of black people living in South Africa. Oh, they're trying to replace us. You're damn right. You're damn right. We are trying to replace your racist behinds with actual democracy, with majoritarian rule, with meritocracy. We are trying to do all of these things, and so that nugget is not entirely out of left field. What's crazy is the thought that we are importing random people to come over here and have as many babies as possible so that people eat fewer TV dinners. Like that's not what's happening.
The whole thing is just so completely white nationalist. The fact that they're spouting all this anti-Semitism, that they're just complete bigots. I mean, this all gets into immigration. Tucker Carlson is just a hot mess and is repeatedly putting nasty rhetoric out there, lies, deceit, spewing up all kind of hatred. And what's really disturbing is to see people like politician Matt Gaetz co-sign on this idea and all these other dangerous conspiracy theories that are like hate mongering. And I just, wonder, Elie, and I think about this a lot. You've got all these elected officials that are out here not just supporting, like secretly, but championing these conspiracy theories that are being spread by Tucker and the rest of them on Fox News, and it's getting people killed. And I just want to ask you, because you're, our resident lawyer here, from a policy or even legal perspective, is there anything that can be done to combat this line of thinking, or at least to handcuff the fools who are spreading all this hate in a way that literally they're spreading violence? I mean, they're stoking this white nationalism, which is deadly.
Right. So there are legal things that we can do when the threats rise to what the lawyers call the level of true threat. That's kind of with a direct threat of physical violence against the person. But that has to be quite specific. Actually, the law does not have kind of a broad definition of you're trying to stir things up, and that might get that's not something that we have that's legally actionable. And there are two reasons for that. There are two, I think, good reasons for that. One, like I said, these people ain't new. Segregation now, segregation forever. That was in my mother's lifetime, right? There are always white people who are willing to do harm to others to protect their privilege. That just isn't new. But the second kind of good reason why we don't go out and prosecute Tucker Carlson for the things that he says is that you have to remember who's in charge of the Justice Department changes from time to time, right? And depending on who's in charge of the Justice Department, while we can all kind of sit here rationally and say like what the Tucker people are doing is dangerous, you change the Justice Department and they'll say what Martin Luther King was doing was dangerous. What DeRay is doing right now is dangerous. What Brittany Packett Cunningham and Alicia Garza are doing are dangerous. And so once we go down the road of having federal law enforcement decide which theories are legally allowed to be said, that's going to redound to the detriment of civil rights and Black people and brown people, unfortunately, more often than it actually stops the white supremacists and the racists.
I just can't sit here and believe that we can do.
I know.
It's so unsatisfying. Okay, so then what are we going to do about Facebook, right? Because we just heard all about, Facebook's whistleblower. We already knew Facebook was a mess, that their algorithms are propagating so much, radicalization and hate and all these things. And, now they're just kind of making Black people stereotypes, which is, what these algorithms do. But, what do we need to do to regulate them, at least? Is there anything we can do to curb this misinformation and this propagating of hate? Anything?
Yeah, enough. Facebook we can do something about, because there are two levers of legal regulation that we haven't really tried with Facebook that I believe would bring them to heel. One would be to regulate them as a public utility. One of the things that happened when Facebook went down that a lot of people saw was that just communications were disrupted. Not just because of Facebook, but because Facebook owns so many other companies, communications globally were disrupted for a period of time. At the point where your company is integral to global communications, you need to be regulated like a public utility. That's what we do with the phone companies, right? That's how we broke up Ma Bell, number one. Number two, Speaking of all the companies that Facebook owns, I seem to remember that we have some antitrust laws in this country specifically designed so that one company is not like the one world company that controls everything and can shut down the country every time they lock their keys in the server, right? Like, this is what antitrust and anti-monopoly laws are for. So if we applied antitrust laws to Facebook, broke it up into smaller parts so it was not so critically important to global infrastructure, and then regulated them like a piece of global infrastructure, that would stop some of their bullcrap. But you have to have politicians who both understand what Facebook is, which is hard sometimes for some of our, greatest generation politicians to really understand how all the internet tubes work and all that. And then you also have to have politicians who do not depend on Facebook for funding to go out and get something done.
Elie Mystal, always appreciate your insights. Thank you so much for joining me on Amplified. See you soon.